YouTube. What's good, guys? It's your boy TD, and I'm back again with another live, guys. And today's live is going to be on 5 streamers that you can stream during week 16. Now, listen, I got to give this background, and I got to do a better job at explaining what I mean when I make videos. So, these guys are streamers. I'm reaching. I'm not giving you no safe streamers. I'm reaching, and I'm reaching to let you know that if you have to reach deep into the waiver wire, who I'm going to pick. What guy would I be okay with going down and losing with? I'm not telling you all these guys are going to hit. If I wanted to hit, I can hit. I can have an 80%, 90% hit rate. I just go to the easy plays. Like great matchup. I'm not saying nobody that's iffy, but I don't give a damn about being safe. I want to give y'all perspective. So when I go through my waiver wire, I'm going all the way down. I'm looking at everybody. I'm not just looking at, oh, if it ain't easy and he ain't had 5 great weeks. No, so I'm trying to give y'all context. You don't have to play these guys, but these are great streamers with great matchups if you had to reach. So make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. This is cutting edge content. I said what I said. This is cutting edge content. I see you, D Lion. What's up, bruh? Yes, sir. Also, guys, before I get started, because we're going to talk about some news, because there's some things that we need to talk about that's going on in fantasy football. But let me see. Let me pull up the schedule real quick. But yeah, guys, I'm out offering consultations. For a Phenom member, you get your consultation for $20 for 30 minutes. But they are $50 if you're not a member of the channel. If you're not a Phenom member, it's $50. Now listen, I seen a comment the other day. Somebody said, "Hey, TD, you taking advantage." I made a post. You know, I'm gonna do live posts, and I made a live post about I was raised not to take advantage of people. I'm genuine. I'm 100. I wear my emotions on my sleeve, and I mean, I think that's a good thing. I don't got no hidden agenda. I don't want to trick you. I'm not trying to psych you out. I'm not trying to gaslight you. I don't got none of that with me. But I made that. Somebody said, "Well, you trying to take advantage of your subscribers? $50 for 30 minutes. Bro, you think I'm a loser? You think I'm going to sit on the phone with somebody for 30 minutes for $15? Come on, bro. That's why I say, but it is what it is. But I want to give y'all context. So, guys, this is a great deal. So, right now, I got a deal on the table because I want to help y'all out. If you are a member of the channel, it don't matter what tier you are, you can get a consultation. Now listen, if you sign up as a Phenom member, I'm gonna give you a free consultation, but all the rest of them you get half off, but you got to be a member of the channel. So $25 for 30 minutes if you are a member of the channel. If you are a Phenom and you sign up this week, or if you've been signed up on the Phenom member, you can get a free consultation. I'm doing it for this week only. I want to help y'all guys out. So without further ado, let's begin. Let's talk about some news. So the first news I want to talk about is Evan Ingram before we get started into my 5 streamers. So anybody that's streaming this video, I apologize, but I think the news is really good. You need to have that. It's in the middle of the week. We need to know what we need to do in case we need to green bean somebody real quick. But Evan Ingram is getting shoulder surgery, and he's going to be out for the rest of the year, and we already knew that. But I'm going to tell you what you need to know. The new offensive coordinator that's going to come into Jacksonville is going to be a double tight end type guy because Britton Strange has been good. Every time he started, he's been fine. He's been solid. He's a good blocking tight end. He went to Penn State, so they real balanced. Kind of like Pat Fryermuth and those guys. They can block and they can catch passes. Evan Ingram is a great receiving tight end, so we know he's going to be used as a receiver tight end. But the next offensive coordinator is going to be using double tight. Brian Thomas Jr. is going to be the guy. So I just want to let y'all know that. To be thinking about Britton Strange getting ready for 2026. Yes, sir. Be getting ready for that. Let's see. Trevor Lawrence, we know he got shoulder surgery. He's out. We know he's out for the rest of the year. But Matt Jones, who? Matt Jones, who? Back then they didn't want me. Now I'm hot. They all on me. Matt Jones came in. He's fighting for a job. He's trying to show people I can still play. That's why I love fantasy football and also love real football. These guys are playing and trying to show people that they can play. The season isn't over. Listen, I can get Matt Jones want a job. They want money. Everybody's out there playing for money, man. That's why I love football as a sport, as in life. It shows a lot, man. So everybody, 1 minute you can be down, next minute you can be up. That's why I'm so passionate. Cause that's what my life was. People said I wasn't gonna never be nothing. And then people want to call me emotional or whatever. Guys, I don't even supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be on the side of the road begging for change. But I'm out here. I got a fantasy football channel. I got a job making good money. I got a son. Who was wrong? Who was right? So that's what football is about. That's why I love football and I love doing metaphors. But anyway, let's move on. Let's with some other guys. Some other guys. Nick Chubb is on IR and he's going to be out for the season. So I know, guys, I apologize. I realized that I didn't say Jerome Ford in my waiver wire video, but the reason why I don't like the matchup, I don't like DTR being in there. So I forgot to mention that. That was one part of the things I want to talk about. Don't be careful getting Jerome Ford. He's going to be a good, solid start, but he's not going. This offense is going to be bad. In order for this offense to move forward, I think Kevin Stefanski dropped the ball. You need Jameis in there to let Jerry Jeudy them and get better and practice in the game. During DTR, you're going to go out there and get a win for what? For what? At least Jameis is going to push the ball downfield, and we're going to see what my players is, what a David Njoku can do for next year. Get them better. Tillman, Jerry Jeudy, Elijah Moore. You got to get these guys some reps. You're not going to be able to get them reps with DTR, and this defense is going to set on top of everything. So DTR, if he can't push the ball downfield, Jerome Ford is not going, other than catching passes, he's not going to be that good for fantasy football. So I just want y'all to know that. Let's see here. Darnell Mooney with guys. I want to apologize. Darnell Mooney with no catches, guys. I have no clue. I still gonna tell you to start Darnell Mooney last week, even with Kirk Cousins playing bad. But we know that Michael Penix is the starting quarterback, so I want to mention that right now. Kirk Cousins got benched, and I want to give a shout out to Charlene. She said that in a live, and I said, Charlene, there's no way they're gonna do that with all that money. They're gonna have to pay this guy another 100, almost close to 100 million with him on the bench. Wow, that's great. Ain't nobody trading for that. They're gonna if you take on to that contract, we might take Kirk, but we don't want that contract with Kirk. That's what it's about, man. I mean, one day you could be up, one day you could be down, vice versa. But yeah, Darnell Mooney had 0 catches. So that was weird. That's probably why they benched him. Darnell Mooney's a lot better than 0 catches. So that's probably why they benched Kirk Cousins. Not saying that he won't start at the beginning. He could start in the beginning of the next season, but have a short lease. But I got to give a shout out to Charlene. You called it, Charlene. Great job. Guys, remember, put your comments in the comment section. I will get to it. Marvin says Mooney is suspect, bro. Yeah, I just want to be genuine. I don't want to get off the rails here. He's suspect because his quarterback is suspect, and a lot of you y'all make responses according to how a player played bad, no matter what the situation was. Darnell Mooney didn't go out there and fall down and drop 5 passes. His quarterback, the team, Kirk Cousins was messing up the team. So if you're just talking about fantasy output, then a lot of guys suck. I'm going to call Jamar Chase out. If he don't give me 10 points, I'm going to say he sucked. I know he don't suck. It's just Joe Burrow, maybe they had a bad game, whatever. Things like that happen. But you can't get off your rocker and mess up for your next week. You still got to go in and look at the matchups, look at the player, know what's going on, and play the guy. Like, I'm not telling nobody else to do this, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you now, when I win these championships, I'm going to show you that I started Tyreek Hill. And if I don't win the championships, I'm going to show you that I still started Tyreek Hill. I went down with my ship. I'm not trying to convince you that Tyreek Hill is the most special, even though he had 5 points. I'm just trying to tell you, I don't care about what last week or whatever happened. If the guy he's getting the targets, he's out there, that's all I can do week 16. Ain't nobody else. Nobody's going to give me Brian Thomas. Nobody's going to trade me for some of these guys. So no matter how we feel about the players, go down with the ship. I don't really care what player you play. I really mean that. I just want you to be confident in your play. That's what it's about. It's not about who I'm telling you to play or who I'm going to play. It's about being confident in your play. And Darnell Mooney is a very confident play going all season long where he's been killing it. He was borderline top 12 wide receiver most of the year. Until Kirk Cousins fell off the rails. Let me see if anything else, guys. I want to get through some other stuff. Justin Herbert has an ankle injury, so he's not moving in the pocket that good. So lower your expectations for Justin Herbert. Looks like George Pickens could play this week, but we don't know yet. So I'm not really wanting to play or stream Calvin Austin unless George Pickens is out. And it could help Calvin Austin. But remember, we got to make these plays before the game start. So I think Calvin Austin could be better with George Pickens starting, but I'm not going to go that far. I don't need to on my team. In one league, I might have to start Calvin Austin. Just depends on what's going on. But don't start Calvin Austin just to start him, right? It's kind of going with context of what's going on with George Pickens. Let's see. Anything else out here is good for us to talk about. Aiden Hutchinson could return for a Super Bowl run. The defensive end, a young defensive end for the Detroit Lions, superior athlete guy, he could return if they go to a Super Bowl. So that's good. Let's see. Yep, Dorian Thompson is the starter for Week 16. We talked about that already. Let me just go through some things, guys. Michael Penix, we know, is taking over as the starter. I talked about that. We know that Justin Herbert was limited in practice because of his ankle injury. Let's see. Teddy Bridgewater, as a free agent, could be looking to return as an NFL starter. That's way out there, but I just want to mention that. Teddy Bridgewater could return as a quarterback. You can play a long time as a quarterback, especially when they can't drive you into the ground anymore, pause. So you can play a long time. You can play up into your mid-40s now at the quarterback position. Let's see. I think that's all, guys. If you got anything else, just put it in the chat, and I'll look that up. But that's all the news that I think is relevant that's been major. The Michael Penix one, that was major. I didn't think they was gonna do it. They needed to do it, but the money, I didn't think the money was gonna allow them to do it. Now, guys, you see NFL teams don't care about the money, like the move. If the money is allowed on the books, they don't care. They still would bench that guy and pay him the money. They don't care, or cut him. All right. So let's get to the 5 streamers. This is why we here, guys. Appreciate everybody being here. I see you, D-Line. I see you, Robert. I see you, Wesley. I see you, Macho. I see you, Chris Villa. I see you, Thomas. I see you, Takeoff. I see you, Yankee. Hector. Big Will in the house. Watch your mouth. I see Peanut Butter. RG in the building. Okay. So the first guy that I'm talking about that I believe that you can stream, that's a good streamer. And remember, this is my details. Remember, I make my own, like, I'm not crazy. I'm not going to go and create words that don't go with fantasy, but I don't necessarily follow what everybody else do. I have to make my mind fit and be able to portray it to y'all. So when I say streamer, there could be a guy that's on your team, but he's not a must start. Streamer don't mean 30% on and 40% on free agent and all of that. To me, it's just a guy that you don't, like a Christian Watson is a streamer. He's not no must start, so you can stream him. That's how I see it. But anyway, Mason Rudolph going against the Colts. Guys, I was so damn happy. I lost Jameis Winston in the league that I'm 11-3. Get ready to go into the playoffs. Guy, he just scored a lot of points the first round of the playoffs. I've been projected to outscore him almost every week. Now he's projected to outscore me because Jameis was projected about for 40 points in my league. And guys, if you ever get in one of my leagues, you'll understand. You might like 40 points projected that many. Well, I got everything as a scoring. It ain't no like crazy scoring, but I respect the game. So first downs and all that, you get points for it. Not crazy amounts of points, but points for a little bit of everything that you're doing good in the game. But anyway, Jameis is getting benched. And I kept going. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Mason Rudolph, they going to sit Real Levis. I'm like, man, I had $0 of fab. I bid it on Mason Rudolph, and I got him. Uh-oh, I got a shot. Now, I'm not saying I got a shot because I'm the number 1 seed in this league. But I was worried because I didn't have no quarterback. I thought I was going to have to use somebody else at the super flex. But anyway, Mason Rudolph, guys, is a good start. Every time, even when he turned the ball over, it's different than watching Will Levis. It's like you had to actually sack him and strip him. He ain't doing no dumb ass turnovers. Mason Rudolph with Calvin Ridley, guys, he's a star. And I should have put him more, talked a little bit more about Calvin Ridley, but Calvin Ridley is the start. I feel good about Calvin Ridley. I feel good about Chigo. I feel good about Westbrook and Keenan. I feel good about some of these weapons. I feel good about Tajay Spears and Tony Pollard going against the Colts. The Colts defense is okay. They a mid-pack defense. I mean, there's tomato. So I think Mason Rudolph is going to be fair. And all you need from, if you had to stream a guy, all I need Mason Rudolph is don't be sorry. You know what I'm saying? Be 15 to 20 points in normal scoring leagues. That's all I need, Mason Rudolph, and I believe he can do that. Going on to my next guy, y'all know who this is. I talked about him yesterday. Is Matt Jones. Who? Matt Jones. Who? Back then they didn't want me. Now they hot. Now I'm hot. They all on me. That Matt Jones from the Jacksonville Jaguars, guys. Brian Thomas Jr. is one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. I said what I said. Now, he ain't Jamar Chase. He ain't Justin Jefferson. He ain't Tyreek. Not yet. He ain't even Amon-Ra yet. But when the next level, he's right there. He's knocking on the door and say, hey, Jamar, Justin Jefferson, can I come in? Jamar, open the door. Knocking on the window. He's trying to get in there. So Brian Thomas is superior. Britton Strange is a great safe target. He's going to get, 10, 11 targets? So I love Britton Strange. Got Parker Washington, who's a good phone booth, low end phone booth type wide receiver where he can get open quick. Love that matchup, guys. I'm playing Jacksonville all week this week. I'm playing their DST if I can. Like if I need to stream a defense, I'm playing them. So Matt Jones, I think that's a good streamable quarterback for you. And there might be some other guys out there that's better than these guys, like AR and stuff that you can stream. So just want to say this. Let's move on to my running backs. My running back is going to be Kendre Miller from the New Orleans Saints going against the Packers. Let me get something to drink, guys. Now, Kendre Miller been hurt his whole career since he's been in the NFL, but he's finally healthy. Alvin Kamara got some type of crazy injury. I didn't mention that. Alvin Kamara got an injury. It don't make sense for them to play him. And if they do play him, he got to play like 20, 30% of the snaps. If Alvin Kamara gets a bad injury, it could set this team back a long, long time because they gave him a deal. So he's going to be a running back for them. Not saying he's going to be the only running back getting touches, but he's the future for the team, right? And so I believe Kendre Miller's going to come in and get 60, 70% of the snap percentage, and he's going to get some goal line touches. So if you need to stream a running back, Kendre Miller to me is a guy that I would be willing to take a chance on if I needed to take a chance on a running back in week 16 of my playoffs. Or if you're in the cancellation bracket and you playing for a draft pick or whatever you may be playing for, I think Kendre Miller is a solid pick. He got a lot of upside. He was very good at TCU, very explosive. The injuries derailed him. All right, let's move on to the wide receiver. My wide receiver stream of the week is going to be Jalen Coker. And who did Jalen Coker? Who are the Carolina Panthers? I'm sorry, guys. I had that. Let me pull up my schedule. Sorry about that. Thought I had that up. All right. Okay. Okay, the Cardinals. I'm sorry. So the Carolina Panthers are playing against the Cardinals. Jalen Coker, guys, he's not going to get hyper targeted. He's not going to get a lot of value. But because of Carolina's situation with Xavier Leggett being out, I think Jalen Coker can have a big play. So it's a reach, but if you need to play somebody who has some upside, I would pick him. It's Adam Thielen and Jalen Coker. Those are the only guys that I kind of would trust outside of Chuba Hubbard. Tommy Tremble, Jatavian Sanders, who knows, right? Tomato. But I do like Jalen Coker upside. You see, he had that one big play. Not saying he's going to have another one, but he was just out there. So I think he's getting nice snap percentage. He's running a lot of routes. So you could play him, you could stream him if you needed to. All right, let's go on to my tight end, and this is easy. I'm not going to waste time. We talked about this guy. We talked about Britton Strange. If he's out there, you stream him. A lot of these teams don't need tight ends, so he should be out there. So if you got a tight end and you got David Njoku and you worried about DTR, then I think Britton Strange is a nice pivot. I think he's a nice safe play. Um, who else? Okay, so going to my flex streamer of the week is going to be Christian Watson. And I wanted to talk about somebody else, but Christian Watson is so boom as a streamable guy. He's one of the, always going to be a great streamable wide receiver because he has the potential to win you the week and be the #1 wide receiver. He has that potential, or he has the potential to also be a top 30 wide receiver where he only had like 8 points. But he's a streamable guy, so I gotta always mention him, and he's probably out there on the waivers. Don't nobody really want to hold on to Christian Watson, and I understand that. So those are my streamable guys. So let's get to some of these comments before we get out of here. I appreciate everybody being here, showing support to the channel. Yes, sir. All right. Okay, Big Will. I see you, bruh. Appreciate you being here. RG says, Tyreek tweeted, it's time for me to go, coach. Do you think he's done for the year? I think they might trade him. I think he know that he might get traded. They might need to do a reboot. And I love that Tyreek is gonna go do somewhere else. If he goes to Kansas City, you already know what that is. Anywhere Tyreek goes, unless it's with a sorry quarterback. If he goes with a sorry quarterback, I don't want no Tyreek. But if he goes to above average quarterback, you in trouble. Tua needs Tyreek. And I don't know if Tyreek is going to go anywhere. He could be just tweeting because he's upset that he ain't get, because he's getting wide open and Tua is not giving him the ball. Tua's kind of like, I don't know what then happened. Tua don't want to hold on and look for Tyreek like he did the last 2 or 3 years. So it is what it is. So I don't think he's done. I just think not this year. I just think he's letting everybody be on notice. If he's not going to get the targets that he's been getting, he's ready to be moved on and be traded. D-Lion says McMillan. Yes, McMillan. I know you said that was your Amon-Ra St. Brown type guy for this year, man. It could be, bro. He's been killing the last 2 weeks with a touchdown. Let's see here. Did I see somebody? Oh, Bruno. Okay. All right. D-Lion says, just seen I missed a video from yesterday. Gonna have to catch up. It's playoff week. Yep. Semifinals. 4 semifinal teams. Good job, bruh. Robert says, won by 1 point. Need that counsel ASAP. What's the link? You need to hit me up, fantasygoodesports@gmail.com. And I said .com. That's my website. I have a website that you can log in, but it's better just to go through the email. So just hit me up an email. Say, hey, TD, we need a consultation. And once we do that, we'll agree on it. You will send it through PayPal, Cash App, and then I'll call you, or you can call me, and we'll chop it up for 30 minutes. But you a member, bro. So it looks like you're gonna get you're gonna get half off for $25. So just hit me up at fantasygoodesports@gmail.com and we can do that. Peanut, what's up, Peanut? He says Britton Strange, Kraft, or Pitts. So I like that you bring it up, Pitts. Pitts is also a guy that I'm looking to maybe put in some of my lineups with Michael Penix being active. But no, I'm going with Britton Strange all day over Kraft and Pitts. Even though Kraft got a little bit of upside with Jordan Love and those wide receivers, and Pitts got a little bit, just a tiny bit of upside with the quarterback change. But Britton Strange is the guy. That's easy. Big Will says, I'm thinking about starting Christian Watson versus the Saints. I'm down by 50 plus points, so I need the boom. Right. I know you got those 2-week fantasy football championship things. That's how y'all do y'all league. So, yeah, man, Christian Watson does give you a little bit of boom in there, and then maybe you got some other safe guys, so that's fine. Hector, what's up, Hector? Let me see. Hold on, guys. Hold on, Hector. Let me do the super chat. I'm sorry about the I think I got a super chat in here, so let me find the super chat. E Macho, appreciate it, bro. He says break over. Everyone stay blessed. Yes, sir. Thank you, E Macho. Thank you, bro. Appreciate that. But yeah, going back to Hector. Hector says Bills, Colts, or Falcons defense this week. Falcons defense, man. I mean, you're going against the Giants. Let me just make sure, guys, because it's still early in the week. It takes a little bit of time for this to register the way I do my content. Takes a little bit of time for it to register with me. Let me see. Yeah. So they're going against the Giants. Yeah. So that's the best defense streamer of the week if you can stream them. I like some other defenses, but I ain't gonna get cute. Atlanta is the defense. Let me look at the Bills just to make sure because the Bills defense has been playing well. Even though they've been giving points, they still been playing well. You got to be able to use contacts with that. Yeah, the Bills defense. Oh, woo wee, woo wee. I'm gonna go with the Falcons slightly over the Bills. I'm going with the Falcons slightly over the Bills. I mean, the Giants quarterback, if it's Tim Boyle, you have to go with him. Now, if it goes to Drew Lock, you might could pivot to the Bills. But with Tim Boyle, I'm playing the Falcons. Yankee, appreciate you, bro. He says TD picked up Ford off waivers. Should I start him over JT for my RB2? No, I would not do that. Or JT had a good game. He dropped the ball. Literally, he dropped the ball. Right before he scored. So I would go with JT over Ford. I'm going with JT over Ford. Yankee says, will Garrett Wilson have a better game this week? I feel like A-Rod and Devontae have too strong of a connection on my On my bench is DJ, Thielen, and McMillan. I don't see it that way, so I'm gonna give you a breakdown and you make your own decision. This is how I see it, Yankee. I feel like Garrett Wilson or Devontae could go crazy. Look, bro, I won well over $100 last week. Probably like $200 or $300 I won DFS. And the reason why I won it is because I played Garrett Wilson and Devontae. Now, Devontae went dumb, but if it could have been Garrett Wilson. So I like to squeeze. This is how I like doing things. Like when I go into a place and I have to say I gotta pick a space, say it's 3 spaces. Why can't I get all 3 of the spaces? That way I'm going to hit one of them. So I like playing Garrett Wilson and Devontae. I'm not telling you to do that, but I want to tell you that it ain't just going to be a Devontae Adams show just because Devontae showed out last week. Garrett Wilson is going to get some opportunities. He's young, he's fast, he's quick. So if he get open, Aaron Rodgers is going to give him the ball. Aaron Rodgers is just trying to pad his stats. So I would start Garrett Wilson over DJ Moore. I like Thielen. I like him. I just think Garrett Wilson has a bigger a bigger ceiling than Thielen. So I would go with Garrett Wilson over Thielen because of the boom. But if you don't need boom and you just need safe, then Thielen is one of the most safest wide receivers. He's going to give you 10 targets. He's going to run a lot of routes. And he's going to give you a nice 10 to 12 point floor. Garrett Wilson can go for 30 points, just like Devontae did. So I won't be surprised if both of these guys go well over 20 points for Aaron Rodgers because he's going to be pushing the ball downfield. And then he's hot. He's on the same page with him. So you know how Aaron let the ball go quick, and next thing you know, Devontae make a catch between 2 guys that they was on the same page with. Or the Garrett Wilson double move somebody, Aaron Rodgers put it out there, and they connect. Aaron Rodgers might be the number 1 quarterback this week. I'm just saying, and I said that last week, right? Not telling y'all you got to do that. So I just want to give context with that, bro. Great question, though. That's a great question. Got another super chat in the house. Sports PSP. What's up, bro? He says, how to develop Anthony Richardson. Love that question. This is my type of stuff. So, to me, I'm going to get a guy like a Shane Steichen from the Colts. I'm not telling you that's the guy you got to get, but those type of guys are Mike McDaniels. These guys have a game script where the first 10 to 15 passes of any game is going to be easy. That's what Anthony Richardson needs. He needs a quarterback coach who's going to design plays for him, which Shane Steichen can do that, right? Shane Steichen's a good guy, and he can get rolling. I think this year, coming off the injury, he wasn't prepared as he was as a rookie. Or maybe they had some film on him. I don't know, right? It could be that. But I think he just needs to be broken down in the pocket and let him have easy throws and then tell him to go do him. You can't give him a long career. You got to let him run the ball. Cam, a lot of people talk junk about Cam Newton. Say, they ran Cam Newton in the ground. You had to let Cam be Cam. If you don't tell Cam to stay in the pocket, he's not going to be great, right? So some guys' career are 6 years, 7 years, crazy boom guys that can make the Hall of Fame, not 13, 14, 15-year guys. And I don't think Anthony Richardson is a 15, 20-year guy. I think he's a guy that can play for about 7 to 8 years, get one major deal, and he might start getting nicked up with injuries, but you got to let him run. He got to get 10 to 15 carries a game. I said what I said. You got to let this guy run the ball. Kind of like Jalen Hurts. You got to let him go. Don't be holding. You got if he's sitting back in the pocket. That's not his optimal game. Sitting back and reading the defense. Let him have 1-2 read, take off. 1-2 read, take off. That's what happened with Jalen Hurts the year that he came out as an MVP candidate. I love that question though, Sports PSP. Vino with the super chat. He says 4 PPR, Coca or Kendre. Yes, if Kamara is out, I'm going with. Let me see here. Let me make sure, because I know what I want to say. I'm going with Kendre because I think you're going to get more opportunities and having more. Dang, Young Ho Ko is out, guys. If you got the kicker, Young Ho Ko, he's out. I just saw that message. But Kendre is going to get more opportunities. He's going to get goal line opportunities, which is green zone opportunities, which is the honey touches. He's going to get all that if Alvin Kamara is out. He's also going to catch some passes in the screen game. He's going to run some routes. He was good doing that in college. Coker, he's not getting the value. Not least he wasn't last week, even though he had a big play. The guy that's getting the value is Adam Thielen. So you got to hope for a big play for Coker with a touchdown to hit his ceiling and his floor. So Kendre is the guy that I would play because he's getting more opportunities. Appreciate that, Vino. D-Lion, 11-month rookie crew. What's up, bro? That's what I'm talking about. Appreciate the super chat, guys. Let's see here. Robert says Mooney is suspect. And the team is suspect, not Mooney. Mooney's playing great. And sometimes where I could be so much on the talent that I actually be disingenuous to y'all. You like, with TD Mooney struggling, all you trying to say is he hasn't had a good fantasy week. You're not saying that he sucked. I stay more on the player himself. I'm willing to go down with good players. I don't want to play a average ass player because he's getting a lot of value. And he don't got no speed to break no long ball. He don't got great hands. He can't over jump nobody. He can't do none of that. I like to tend to go to talent. Mooney talent has been good ever since he went to Chicago coming out of college. So I like Mooney as a player, but Kirk Cousins is garbage for him. And sometimes that happens in fantasy, so you have to move on. But they got Penix in. So I would still take an opportunity on Mooney, especially with Penix, man. That ball come out so quick out of his damn hand is ridiculous. Like that's why he got drafted so early. He got a great quick release, man, and a strong arm. Even with the injuries he's had, his arm is superior. Fat says Brian Thomas Jr. of London. Bro, Brian Thomas Jr. he's knocking on the door with, hey, Jamar. Hey, Tyreek. Y'all in there? Can I come in? I'm good enough to be in the stud club. This is what Brian Thomas Jr. is saying. So Brian Thomas Jr. almost for everybody. There's only like 6 wide receivers that I'm starting over Brian Thomas Jr. Thomas says, what up, bruh? Man, I'm devastated. I lost in the best ball league. Yeah, bruh, it be like that. But I saw it by 3 points. I saw it, man. I lost like by 12 points and had 2 or 3 players go crazy. I had Devontae Adams, Malik Neighbors. It happens. It happens, man. It's okay. He says, by 3 points, Gino killed me. Sucks because I drafted Michael, who is MPJ? I don't know who MPJ is. I was about to have the stack. Oh, okay, Michael Penix Jr. I was about to have the stack. Michael Porter Jr., London, and Mooney, right? But you're going to have it for... No, that's right. This is a redraft league. Yeah. It be like that, bruh. The Takeout Podcast says, share all parlays with me. I need to come up. Bruh, if you sign up as a Phenom member, not a Phenom member, but if you sign up as a member, man, you can get some parlays. I can send you some parlays. I've been smashing on some parlays. D-Lion says, Browns are the Browns. Robert says, so Judy reps will drop, TD. Yes. Judy, I'm not, like, I'm sitting Judy in the league. I'm not playing with no DTR. I don't know. Kevin Stefanski, man, that is fucking crazy. Excuse my language, guys. I apologize. But that is crazy how they're gonna sit Jameis because DTR can't handle those wide receivers, right? So I'm not playing Judy this week in my fantasy football playoffs. Lonely Stoner says PPR start 2 running backs, 1 wide receiver, 1 tight end. Spears, Miller, B. Rob, Jr., J-Mo, McLaurin, Kraft, Strange. So 1 wide receiver would be McLaurin. 1 tight end would be Strange. 2 RBs would be Spears and Brian Robinson Jr. So yeah. So Spears, Brian Robinson Jr., McLaurin, and Strange. Spears, Brian Robinson Jr., McLaurin, and Strange. Another super chat from my homie Sports SPSP. Well, PSP. Appreciate you, bro. He says, "How do you feel about Baker and Temper?" Man, you know I gotta give credit to Baker, man. I saw this in the comments, and that was a good point, man. I didn't give Mike Evans his respect all year. Now I thought Mike Evans could get 1,000 yards and be okay, but not, maybe give you some boom weeks. I know he's gonna give you some boom weeks. It was either gonna be fantasy football championship or a couple weeks earlier. But Baker, man, has played out of his mind as almost like a top 7, top 8 quarterback in just this year. Baker's been killing it. I gotta give some respect on Mike Evans and Baker. Now I was on Chris Godwin. I know that Baker and Chris Godwin was gonna have a killer season, but he got hurt. So all that went to Mike Evans. So that's why Mike Evans is having the season that he's having. Even though he's getting older. I thought Chris Godwin was a little bit younger. But yeah, man, Baker and Temper I think they are a playoff team. They are the best team in the NFC South. And I think that Baker is going to prove himself as a perennial starter in this league. And I got to give him credit for that. And a lot of people said that Baker sucked. That's why I don't say guys suck. You never know what's going on. People get mad when players don't want to go in the game. They don't know what happened. We saying right now, Devondre Campbell, he should be this. And you don't know what he was told before the game and what he was told this season and why he didn't want to go out there and play. I'm not quitting. I'm on my team. But I don't know what type of situation I might be in where if I don't trust the coach, I'm not putting my body on the line for him. If he go out there and tell me a bold-faced lie. So, I want to give respect to Baker, man. I think Baker's going to be good for his NFL career. I think we got to put him in the right tier now, and I think Tampa is a good team. And I want to give credit to the coach, man. He's doing a great job there. I thought he would struggle after Bruce Arians left, but he's been doing a pretty good job. Yep, great. Appreciate that question, bro. That's a good. I love those questions because you actually put me in my mode where I don't really got to go fantasy, and I like breaking down stuff like this. Let's see here. Wesley Mendez. He says start 2, McLaurin, Neighbors, or Tyreek Hill. I'm going with McLaurin and Tyreek Hill. Now listen, man. I want to say Neighbors, but I can't trust the quarterback situation. I don't know if Bohr going to be able to get Neighbors the ball. That's why I'm playing Atlanta Falcons defense. I don't even know if Neighbors going to be able to get the ball. I'm sitting Tyrone Tracy this week. Now, if you want to pivot and don't play Tyreek Hill, bro, I don't have anything to say about that. I understand it because what's going on with him and Tua, but that type of firepower with everybody healthy, I have to play it. But that's just me. So I'm going to say McLaurin and Tyreek Hill. McLaurin and Tyreek. You got to play McLaurin. He's a top 5 wide receiver. You got to play him. Macho says, top of the afternoon, bro. I played Neighbors and Thomas and sat Judy. Solid advice. Appreciate it. Anytime, bro. Anytime. Whoo, that was, and I didn't necessarily want anybody to sit Judy, but I guess you had to. Great job, Macho. That was your decision, bro. You the one pulled the button or whatever you want to say. You the one did that, bro. Great job, Macho. Appreciate you being here. Robert Malley, he says Vikings might switch spots with Detroit for the playoff position. Your thoughts, TD? Detroit don't care. They don't care what they got to do. They just need to get into the playoffs healthy.
That's their main thing. They can beat whoever's in front of them. Get in the playoffs healthy. So don't try to do too much to get the number 1 seed. But either way, I think they'll be fine. I think they'll be. The Vikings got to be careful. They can lose first round. Sam Darnold still got that where he'll throw the ball up for no reason. So they can always lose in any round. So they don't. So if they lose, Detroit will be right there back as the number 1 seed. Even though they ain't the number 1 seed, they could get right back there if the number 1 seed lose in the second round of the playoffs. So I think Detroit still has a chance to go to the Super Bowl. Chris says Rodgers, Goff, or Purdy. Appreciate that, Chris. Vila, I'm going with Goff. I think now that David Montgomery is hurt, you have to put the ball in the air to Amon-Ra. You don't really have that bruiser back. So I think with Jameer, you got to get him out in open space. So that's some dump downs, that's some screens. So I think that everything goes to Goff. It's going to be funneled through Goff, and I think he's going to put the ball out in a little bit, put the ball in the air a little bit more than usual. So I'm going with Goff over Purdy and Rodgers. The tougher the matchup, the better Goff plays because they have to pass. They can't run the ball down their team throat. Pause. Hector says, would you still play Njoku with DTR at quarterback or I would play Strange over Njoku. You know how I feel about DTR now. I'm not saying DTR suck. He just ain't ready for me to be trusting him with studs. I'm not ready. Now, I think Njoku's going to get some targets because remember I said a quarterback's best friend is a tight end. Pause. But when I have a player like Strange and everything is optimal and they got a great matchup, that's when I will go to the matchup at this point. You see, it's all in context, guys. I say most of the time, play your studs. Play your studs. But this one, I can't do it with the backup quarterback coming in. So I'm going with Strange over Njoku if DTR. Now, I do think Jameis will come in the middle of the game because if DTR can't get a first down and he can't hit none of the open wide receivers, they're going to have to go back to Jameis. Leo says, I need a tight end, and I didn't get Strange in waivers. Any others maybe Smart from the Chargers? Yes, I do like Smart from the Chargers. Let's see if there's any other tight ends that I like. Yeah, I guess I would say right now, man, I would say Smart from the Chargers. I know he should be out there on your waivers. Thomas says, thoughts on if Kenneth Walker is playing. So let me go look this up real quick. I was looking at that earlier. I think they said he had a limited practice. Okay, here it go. So it says status to be determined for week 16. So this is what they're saying. They says Coach Mike McDonald said that Walker had a good workout Monday, and it's his calf. But the running back status remains in limbo. Michael Sean Dugar of the Athletic reports Walker has missed back-to-back contests due to a calf injury, and he also hasn't practiced since Wednesday, December the 4th. McDonald added, we'll see. Regarding Walker's chances to take the field Wednesday when the Seahawks are slated for their first session of the week 16 prep. Zach Charbonnet has filled in for Walker during his absence, turning 38 touches into 259 yards from scrimmage and rushing for 3 touchdowns. So that's what they're saying. So we don't know, bruh. So we're going to have to wait a little bit longer, probably like Saturday or Sunday. Perfect Black says, big ups to TD. Yes, sir, bruh. Salute, bruh. Appreciate you. Chris says, crunch time. Yes, sir. Martin Castillo says, need to, bruh. McMillan, Drake London, and Tony Pollard. So I don't know about Tony Pollard because he might be out this week. So I'm going to say McMillan and Drake London. And I like Drake London with Michael Penix playing. I like Drake London with Michael Penix playing. E. Macho says, on lunch. Yes, sir, bruh. Yes, sir. I love those emojis, E. Macho. Thomas says, down to one playoff team left. Streaming tight ends, was unable to get Britton Strange off waivers, but I got Smart. You like him? Yes, I do like Smart. Tomorrow, or try Hunter Henry, Schultz, or Pat Fryermuth. So I'm gonna rank them for you. First, it would be, I'm going with Hunter Henry, Smart, and Pat Fryermuth. Those 3. or the guys. They kind of all tomatoes, but I think Hunter Henry might be a stage up from them. So I would say Hunter Henry, um, Smart, and Pat Frymuth. Imajo says, what we thinking about Strange this week? He's a start. He's a top 12 tight end. He's a start. Thomas says, Matt Jones who? Matt Jones who? Imacho says, yo, Thomas, I'm playing Strange too. Imacho says, facts. Robert Matter says, Laporta or Hawkinson? That's a good one. I'm going with Laporta. Since David Montgomery is out. I'm going with Laporta over Hawkinson. I think they need Laporta right now. I think Laporta's getting a little juice. E. Macho says, I'm playing Brian Thomas Jr. and Strange. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hector says, Strange or Chig since Rudolph at quarterback. I'm going with Strange over Chigo. Thomas says, I missed out on Strange off waivers. It be like that sometimes. You can't get everybody off the waivers every single time. That's why I like Fab. Big Will, Phenom member. He says, what do you think about Garendo versus Miami? I like Garendo versus Miami. He's a smash play. He's a top start. He's going to smash. He says, also, do you play Stranger instead of Kelsey? No. Bruh, that's tough. That's tough, man. You know, I'm going to say just play Travis Kelsey. Now, if Pat Mahomes doesn't play and you wanted to go to Strange, I think that's the key. I think that's something that you can use a common denominator and factor it out. So Pat Mahomes is playing, Kelsey. Pat Mahomes is out, I'm taking out Kelsey and I'm putting Strange. So the common denominator would be if Pat Mahomes plays or not. Got a super chat from Bo. What's up, Bo? I ain't seen you here in a little bit, bro. He says, need 2 PPR, Lad, DK Bucky, or Brian Thomas Robinson. What a minute, BT? Is that Brian Thomas? Wait a minute, who's BTR? Hey, put it in the chat real quick, Bo. Let me know who's BTR. Yeah, let me know who BTR is before I answer that question. Okay. Thank you, Thomas. Brian Thomas Robinson. Okay. So he's talking about Brian Robinson. Need 2. I would do you in full PPR. Okay. I'm going to go Bucky. I'm going Bucky and Lad. Now, let me tell you why I'm not going with the other guys, even though I like the other guys. I'm not going DK because he's been volatile, and you got Lad. Lad has been a better wide receiver, and he's been more trustworthy than DK the last 5 weeks, 6 weeks. So we got to put DK in the tier 3. He's down there where he can be sit. He can, if the guy's got a better matchup or a better player, I won't say better player, but a better matchup, you can sit him now. So I'm willing to put Lad over DK. I'm thinking about sitting DK in a couple of my leagues. I'm like in 10 playoffs. And a couple of them, I'm thinking about sitting DK for a better player. Far as Brian Robinson, I love him. The matchup is tough. He still can score because of his role, but I got to put Bucky over him and I got to put Lad over him because the matchup is so tough. I mean, he's going against 2 of the best D tackles against the run in the NFL. So that puts him down a little bit. So I'm going to go with Bucky. Going against the Cowboys, who can be head against the run. And I'm going with Ladd, who's been a PPR king, and Justin Herbert is like that's Justin Herbert's favorite target. So those are my two. So appreciate the question, bro. Yes, sir. Let's see here. What's going on, Charlene? Yes, sir. Glad to see you. Thomas says, what's your thoughts on Abdullah versus Jacksonville with McCormick out? Just another guy. He's just a Jag. I'm not playing nobody on the Las Vegas Raiders outside of Brock Bowers. Even Jacoby Myers has to move down with Desmond Ridder. I can't play nobody outside of Brock Bowers. And Brock Bowers don't even sound great. But he almost a must start. Thomas says, Coker. Jalen Coker, I was all about him early in the season before he got hurt. Right. And he was getting ready to ball out before he got injured. Hector says, I like Abdullah's schedule. Yes, for a deep league, for his PPR, yes, he's fine. But if it's that bad where you have to stream Abdullah that far, then that's fine. I get it. But I would think there would be other guys like Kendre Miller that I would rather play over Abdullah. Vino says, Jalen Coker or Kendre Miller if Kamara is out. I'm going with Kendre. I think I answered that question in the super chat. But yeah, I'm going with Kendre. Robert says, need two. Higgins, Jamison Williams, Jennings, Mooney, or Judy. I'm going with Jennings. I'm going with Jennings and J-Mo Williams, but it's close between T. Higgins and J-Mo Williams. So you can pick between those guys, but you definitely got to play Jennings. And it's between Higgins and J-Mo. I will put J-Mo a little bit ahead of him since David Montgomery is out. All the targets and all the stuff is going to get bumped up a little bit. Amon-Ra is going to get bumped up. J-Mo going to get bumped up. Jameer is going to get bumped up. And Goff is going to get bumped up on their volume. So I'm going to go with J-Mo slightly over Higgins. But if you wanted to play Higgins over J-Mo, I wouldn't be mad at you. I can't tell you to play him over Judy with DTR and Mooney with a new quarterback situation. I would rather play the other guys over him. Imato said, yeah, he's boom or bust. Risky, bro. Right. Robert said, Dobbs is on my waivers. Yeah, man, I would try to pick him up. Hold on, man. There go my shit. Moving too far down. There you go again. Okay, hello. Okay. Yeah, Robert says Dobbs is on my waivers. Yeah, man, if Dobbs is on your waivers, I will pick him up and stash him and then make the decision for Sunday and see if he can get in your lineup. But you don't want him sitting out there on the waivers because, he can have good weeks. You know that. Yeah, so pick him up. Another super chat from Chris Vila. Appreciate you, brother. He says Dowdle, Debo, Downs, Strange, Calvin Austin, Douglas, pick one. I'm going with Dowdle. Play Dowdle over Debo, over Downs, over Strange, over Calvin Austin, and Demario Douglas. Yep. Appreciate you, Chris. Always supporting the channel, guys. I appreciate it. I'm so proud of what I've built from the ground up. This is my baby. I got a son. That's my first baby, and this is my second baby. And so that's why somebody talk junk about my son. I'm going to defend it. Somebody talk junk about my YouTube channel. I'm going to defend it. So I appreciate you guys that come here. They love to hear me talk to myself basically about fantasy football. Y'all respect me enough to come hear me jibber jabber. I respect y'all guys, and you willing to put your money where your mouth at? I got it. I can't do nothing but salute everybody that always support my channel. Charlene said, "Is it time to add Hollywood Brown?" Yes, he's a stash. He's a stash. You never know what's going to happen. You always got to try to stash and play bingo in case his number gets called and you got him. Imacho says, look for the workload over boom, yo. It just depends what type of situation you is. But yes, I'm looking for workload. But sometimes I don't want workload from a bad offense. And you got a guy who he's been killing it even though he's not getting a lot of targets, but he's hot. So sometimes I will go with the boom. It just depends, man. It's a lot of prerogative plays in this type of industry, man. Sometimes you might want to go with the boom. Sometimes you want to go with the safe guy. Sometimes you're going with the volume. Sometimes you're going with the analytics. Sometimes you're going with your gut. We humans, it's no true science all the time that you can do and always make the best decision. I think you got to be like water. You got to be able to see what type of situation you're in and adapt to it. That's all I'm gonna say. And that's what I try to preach. Tyler says Strange or Hawkinson. I'm going with Strange over Hawkinson. He's safer. Tyler says that would be a fantastic Tyreek to and Mahomes. Yes. What's going on, Harambe? What's up, bruh? Charlene says too many concussions with Trey. Harambe says Dobbs or Marvin Harrison Jr. I will go with Marvin Harrison Jr. over Dobbs. Zach says congratulations, bro, on your advancement in the Dynasty League. Good job, Zach. Zach says start Jerome Ford, Pollard, McMillan, or Jaden Reed. The safest play is Jerome Ford. The biggest boom is McMillan. And if Pollard, I don't trust Pollard this week with him having the injuries and stuff. I don't trust Pollard. So I will go with Ford, then McMillan, and then Jaden Reed. D-Lion says Riffley. When Mason Rudolph played early this year, he targeted really average of 10 a game with a 15-game target game. Right. I believe that's why I like Mason Rudolph and I like Ridley. I like that combination. That's why I think Mason is a good streamable quarterback. Thomas says Drew Lock to start on Sunday. Okay, Drew Lock going to start on Sunday? Okay. Yeah, I still would go with Atlanta. I still like Atlanta. Just depends on what other defenses is out there. Chris says Keenan Allen, Pollard, Jerome Ford, McMillan, DK. Which two would you start in full PPR? I would start Keenan Allen. I would do Keenan Allen and Jerome Ford. Man, DK, I can't get him in there. McMillan, I can't even get him in there. The Dallas defense is not chopped liver, especially their passing game. So I'm going to go with Keenan Allen and Jerome. Now, if Pollard was healthy, I would tell you to go with Pollard. So, yeah, I'm going with Jerome and Keenan Allen, bro. Great question. That was a tough one. Got a super chat from Rashik Barron. Appreciate that, Rashik. He says Allen, Sun God, Shakir, Cooks, Chase Brown, Kittle, Rico. Okay, you just leaving out the play. Okay. So Allen, Sun God, Shakir, Cooks, Chase Brown, Kittle, Rico, Goff, White, Ford, Zay, Thielen, Laporta, Tampa Bay kicker, and Atlanta DS2. Who are my best wide receivers for finals? Shakir going against the Patriots. Sun God. So Sun God, Shakir, and Zay. I like those two guys. I like Shakir going against New England. I like Amon-Ra St. Brown, and I like Zay Flowers. Those are three guys I would try to get in my lineup and start them. Appreciate the super chat, Rashid. Glad to see you here. Make sure you subscribe, bro. Cutting edge content. We are family here, man. We help each other out. Marlon Dave, he says, hey TD, Ramondre Stevenson, Najee Mooney, Waddle for half PPR this week. Jaden Daniels, Jordan Love, thanks. I'm going with Jordan Love over Jaden Daniels. Hey TD, Ramondre Stevenson, Najee, Waddle. Thanks. Waddle for half PPR this week. So I guess you asking between Ramondre Stevenson and Najee. I would go with Ramondre Stevenson. And between Mooney and Waddle, I'm trying to see how you trying to want me to answer. Say, hey TD, Ramondre Stevenson, Najee, Mooney, Waddle for half PPR this week. Okay, so out of Ramondre, Najee, Mooney, and Waddle, I would go with Ramondre Stevenson. Waddle, man, I can't tell anybody to play Waddle anymore. I'm done with that for the rest of the year. This is the fantasy football playoffs. I said week 16. If you got through with that, that's good. I can't recommend Waddle anymore. Mooney, he's playing with a new. And listen, I'm not trying to use because this is a new week, but he got hurt. I can't do that. But Mooney with a new quarterback, that's an okay start. But I would like to see it. So the Ramondre, I know he's gonna get 10 to 15 touches and some passes. He's the safest. But if I was looking for boom out of these guys, I probably would try Mooney with Michael Penix Jr. And I would go with Jordan Love. Got another super chat from Robert Malley. Appreciate you, brother. He says, Richardson or Love? I'm going with Love. I'm going with Love. Appreciate the super chat, Robert. Yes, sir. Wesley Mendez says Jaden Daniels or Aaron Rodgers. I told somebody earlier in the chat when I was looking at my comment section, I told people to play Jaden Daniels. I'm going to go with Jaden Daniels because of his rushing upside over Aaron Rodgers. I'm going with Jaden Daniels with his rushing upside over Aaron Rodgers. It's about his rushing upside. I'm going with the young stud. I won't be surprised if the Commanders could beat that Philadelphia Eagles by a field goal or something. Because Jaden Daniels, I mean, he's a good quarterback, and he can make big plays, and he got pretty decent weapons. So I'm going with Jaden Daniels. That's a great question, Wesley. Wesley also says the Commanders struggled against the Eagles the last time they played each other, right? And Jaden was hurt. Remember, Jaden was hurt that game too. Charlene says same with RG3. Adam Fields, what's up, bro? He said, would you start Metcalf or Terry? I would start Terry McLaurin over Metcalf. And watch. This could be a Metcalf boom game, but we can't wait on that. This is fantasy playoffs. We can't wait. We into the fourth quadrant. Ain't no more waiting on no fourth quadrant. We there. Hector says Drew Lock is starting after all. So Drew Lock will be the starting quarterback for the Giants. What's up, Juice? He said, what up, G? What's up, bruh? Siobhan says Devontae Smith or McMillan. I'm going with Devontae Smith. And she says she don't trust him. I think you got to trust him. Especially with A.J. Brown getting a little bit of an ankle injury at the end of the game. I think you have to trust Devontae Smith going against the Commanders over McMillan. You don't want a guy with Devontae Smith. This is how I see it, Siobhan. Are you okay? If you okay playing McMillan and then Devontae Smith goes out and McMillan gives you 8 points, Devontae goes for 25, are you okay with that? I would be okay with me playing Devontae McMillan did. I'm okay. I can lose that way. McMillan and then Devontae Smith goes off because I'm going to be mad where I know what type of capital that Devontae Smith has. That's how I see it. R, what's up, R? He says Lamar or Stafford this week. That's easy, bro. That's Lamar all day. I know he's going against the Pittsburgh Steelers, but the Pittsburgh, they in trouble. Lamar he on like some type of mission. And just because Pittsburgh has been getting the best of Lamar all the matchups, he's on one. I hope he don't get hurt. I'm like Lamar trying to prove a point. So I'm definitely Lamar over Stafford. I love Stafford this week, but not over Lamar. Jimmy's TV, he said, you think Craig Reynolds is a good start this week? No, I think he's a good stash. I think you need to see it. Don't get that cute. That's way too cute. I think you need to see it first. So yes, I would stash Craig Reynolds for sure. I would spend whatever I needed to spend because I don't want the David Montgomery picking up the Craig Reynolds and have that type of combo again. If that combo is gonna be kind of like David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, then you just stash Craig. I don't think Craig's gonna get that type of role, but I think he will have a role to keep Jahmyr fresh. I don't think they get down onto the goal line unless Jahmyr is tired and then they give it to Craig Reynolds. I think Jahmyr getting all goal line carries. And let me tell you something about Jahmyr Gibbs when David Montgomery is out. He's the number one RB. He averaged like 27 points without David Montgomery. And that was last year when Craig was healthy. Jew says, I need your advice. I'm the 6th seed playing the number 1 seed. Pick 2 wide receivers in a flex 4 PPR. Evans, London, McLaurin, Brian Thomas Robinson, Adam, Shakir, your thoughts? He said pick 2 wide receivers. My 2 wide receivers would be Brian Thomas Jr. and McLaurin. And he said and a flex 4 PPR. And your flex would be I will go with Shakir over Evans. Listen, man, it's getting cute, but listen, this is fantasy football playoff time. So you would say, well, why are you going with Shakir over Evans? If you think Evans is going to ball out against the Cowboys, then I think it's a good play. I don't, and I could be biased. The Cowboys, they secondary is the best thing they got. Pass rush and going against the pass is the best thing. You can beat the Cowboys by running the ball at them. So I think this could be a Bucky Irving game, but I'm not going to be surprised because I know Mike Evans is trying to get that 1,000 yards. So if you playing Mike Evans over Shakir, I get it. But Shakir, man, that matchup against New England is beautiful, bruh. That's why I'm trying to get Shakir in your lineup because the matchup is so great. Brian Thomas Jr., that's easy. McLaurin, that's easy. Those are top 5, top 12 wide receivers. So I would say one more. We'll go at it one more time. I'll say McLaurin, Brian Thomas Jr., and you're gonna have to pick between Evans and Shakir. I like Shakir this week, but if you went to Evans, no matter what happens, if Evans have a good game or a bad game, it won't be a bad decision because it's Mike Evans. I know I saw a comment earlier. Somebody said Mike Evans is him. He's nice, but I don't think I think he's one of these guys where if you look at the longevity of his career, he's a phenomenal. But as far as an impact like a Randy Moss and Tyreek Hill and some of these guys like that, I don't think he's had that type of career. But you don't need to have that type of career to be a Hall of Famer. I think his longevity of his career is a Hall of Fame. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Again, I'm gonna say Brian Thomas Jr., McLaurin, and Evans. There you go right there. It's right below the comment. Thomas says Mike Evans is him. 10 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons, Hall of Famer. Facts. Longevity, Hall of Famer. Got another super chat from Psalms. Appreciate you being here, Psalms. Yes, sir. Psalms said, one in the flex, Amari Cooper, Debo, Keon Coleman, or McMillan. I'm going with McMillan over Amari Cooper, who I'm never telling nobody to play him for the rest of this year. That 0, that had me hot. That didn't make no sense. We went from 15 targets to 0. They must say we're gonna save you. You must got an injury or something. But anyway, no Amari Cooper. Debo is having a bad year. He's a good player, man. I'm not gonna sit here and disrespect Debo, but it's just been a bad year. Keon Coleman got he got like a nice little target, deep ball. But McMillan he's trending up. He's trending up more than any of these other guys that you got on this list. So I'm going with McMillan in this situation. Yes, sir. Yankee says, TD, Picked up Cincy D, but wondering if Texas D may have more upside if Mahomes doesn't play. They are a big sack leaders this season. They are, and that's what gets you fantasy points for the defense. But that is Andy Reid, and Andy Reid is one of the best game planners that I ever saw in my whole life. So I saw Carson Wentz play for the Kansas City Chiefs. I saw Alex Smith. I saw Chad Henne. And they won games. Chad Henne went undefeated with Andy Reid as a starting quarterback. And Chad Henne was garbage everywhere he played. So Andy Reid game plan, he might run the ball and maybe Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt take over the game. But either way, man, the Texans defense is solid, but I don't think they optimal. Not going against Andy Reid per se. But I don't think it's wrong if you play him. Harami says, I know I keep asking TD, but since Drew Lock is playing, is there any scenario you start Tracy over Najee? No, I would start Najee over Tracy. Man, because they gave Devin Singletary carries in the goal line, and that automatically, as soon as that happened, you're not agreeing. I'm moving on from that. I can't have Tracy playing on a sorry offense, and he's not even getting the green zone touches. I can't do it. So I'm going with Najee, which I know is going to get some green zone opportunities, and they're going to run Najee a lot. Even though Baltimore is a tough man, he might not have a great game, but I think Najee's chance of scoring more points is better than Tracy scoring more points. I just think I'd rather have Najee. He does check down to Tracy, but you need a little bit more than that, right? You could get a Miradula for that. Jimmy says McLaurin caught one ball for 10 yards last time against the Eagles. I don't expect a boom game. That's last time. I'm not gonna sit here and sit on McLaurin as a top 5 wide receiver. I can't do it. I'm not good at that. And I mean that genuinely. I'm not trying to, I promise you I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not good at that. My mind can't think that way. I can't sit a top 5 guy in my championship run because of what he did when they played him early. Say I got Mike Evans and he's going against the guy from the Saints he don't play on the Saints no more, but this guy always, every single time had a good game against Mike Evans. Mike Evans have never put up 100 yards on this guy. I'm still not sitting Mike Evans. Not in a championship run. I can't do it. And I'm not trying to convince you. I'm just telling you the way I see it. Right? That's all I'm saying. I'm just giving you my perspective and you can do with it whatever you please. Charlene says TD RBs are good too, so you are not one-dimensional. TD running backs are good too. One-dimensional. I don't get that. I don't know what you mean by running backs are good too. LA Real Gamer says, yeah, the Eagles have been lights out against the wide receivers since their week 5 bye. Right, when they put Cooper DeJean in. Ever since they put Cooper DeJean in, they've been balling. But I'm still not sitting my top 5 wide receiver against them. That's just me. And I'm not, if I end up being right and Terry go off, I'm not going to say anything because I get what y'all are saying. I'm not trying to say y'all saying anything wrong. I'm just giving you my philosophy with it. And if I'm wrong, I'll tell you when we come back on live next week. I'm like, hey guys, y'all was right about Terry McLaurin. But I'm not going to feel bad about it because that's the right move in my mind always. Forgotten Creed. What's up, bro? He says Steelers own the Ravens. We shall see. Cretch, what up, bruh? Leo says golf or love, thanks. That's tough. But I got to go with golf. Over love with the David Montgomery, with the injury of David Montgomery. Forgotten Creed says, if Pickens is back, is he a must start? Yes, he's a start. I would call him a top 16 wide receiver. Especially going against the Baltimore Ravens, who can give up. You see what they gave up to Malik Neighbors. So, yes, I would call him a must start. Okay. Juice says TJ Hawk or Strange. I'm going with Strange. Juice over TJ Hawk. LA Real Gamer says, do you think Metcalf role as the Seahawks #1 wide receiver is in jeopardy? Yes. He's probably gonna get traded in the offseason. Thomas says PPR need 2 JSN, Charbonnet, Abdullah, McMillan, Coca, C-Watt, or D-Hop. So you need 2. I'm going with JSN and Charbonnet if no Walker. But if Walker is there, I will go with JSN and McMillan. I will go with JSN and McMillan. If Walker plays. I can't. Coca is too volatile. C-Watt is too volatile. D-Hop with no Pat Mahomes. So that's why I'm telling you not to play Coca or C-Watt and D-Hop. D-Hop has no Pat Mahomes probably. If Pat Mahomes play, I might think about playing D-Hop. I could see you going with JSN and D-Hop. But JSN for sure. And Charbonnet if Walker is out. But if Walker plays, I will go with McMillan. Thomas says, too many choices sucks. Yankee. He says, pick Spears. If Pollard is out, start Spears over JT for my RB2. I say tomato, but I'm going to still say play JT. I think JT wants a revenge type game because of what he did last week. So I'm going to say JT slightly over Spears if Pollard is out. You mentioned Spears can be a top 12 if Pollard is out. He can. But sitting JT, who is a top 12 running back, he was going to be a top 12 running back if he never would have dropped that ball before he scored. I just like playing JT. I don't want to play Spears over JT. I would try to get JT and Spears in my lineup. I think both of these guys, that's what I'm going to say. Both of these guys are starts. I don't think you should be sitting JT. That's how I'm going to start. Because a lot of times, man, I get caught up with this and then people try to say that I said the wrong thing. And I never wanted the other guy to get set. I never ever said that JT was a set. So I'm going to say both guys, you got to get both of them in your lineup. If Pollard is out. Dean James Talley, what's up, bruh? Long time no see. I'm going with Trey McBride, bruh. LA Real Gamer said, would you play Strange over Andrews? No. I would play Andrews. Okay, Thomas said it is fab. I have $0 left. Right, okay. Nor Messi says, what's your favorite football team? The Dallas Cowboys. Rio James said, do you play in the cancellation playoffs if you don't make the playoffs? Yes, in my dynasty leagues, because that's how you get your draft picks. To me, you do your draft picks by in my leagues, whoever win the cancellation bracket get the #1 pick. Now I don't know if we're gonna continue that. I let the league vote on that, but I'm not gonna tell people to set their lineup. So if you don't set your lineup, that's on you. As long as you pay that money, I'm good with it. But to keep playing in the cancellation bracket or trying to have a good team is more important than tanking. So that's just how I do it in my league. Chief Heat says Reed, Thielen, McMillan, rank them. I would go with Thielen, McMillan, and Reed. And would you start one over Pacheco? Only person I would start over Pacheco would be Thielen. I'm putting Pacheco in over McMillan and Reed. They're gonna run the ball a lot. So Pacheco gonna have a decent game. They're gonna run the ball a lot. Dean James Taylor says Cooper Kupp, T. Higgins, Water, Marvin Harrison Jr., or Josh Downs. I can only start 2. So Cooper Kupp. I know Cooper Kupp had a 0, but we can't be scared of him. Cooper Kupp and Marvin Harrison Jr. Let me make sure here, though. Yeah, Cooper Kupp and Marvin Harrison Jr. Cooper Kupp and Marvin Harrison Jr. I like T. Higgins next if you wanted to pivot off one of those guys. RG said start Goff or Hurts. You got to start Hurts no matter what. You got to start Hurts. Both of those guys are starts. But you got to go down with the shit with Hurts. What's going on, Rasheed? Noah Messi says fat or cap. Seahawks defense was exposed by the Packers. They've been exposed. I mean, even though they had a good run where they was holding teams down, but they've been like they never to me been shut down like they should be. But they had a good run for like 3 or 4 weeks where I stashed them in a couple leagues thinking that they could continue it. Juice says, hey, what's good? Need help? Pick 2 wide receivers, 1 flex PPR. I think we did that one already. Okay. Yeah, this is Thielen, Shakir, McLaurin. Philly defense is tough. Yeah, I think we did that one already, Juice. Pick 2 wide receivers and 1 flex. Brian Thomas Jr., McLaurin. And you got to choose between Shakir and Evans. Nason says Jared Goff or Jordan Love this week. I'm going with Jared Goff over Jordan Love. Mr. Anderson, what's up, bro? He says, what up? DK Pittman, Mooney, pick 2. I'm going with DK and Pittman. I'm going with DK and Pittman. Flex Garendo over Jonu. Flex Garendo over Jonu. Noah says Jared Goff. Okay, never mind. Juice says Joe Burrow or Goff. I'm going with Joe Burrow. You got to play Joe Burrow no matter what. Got to play Joe Burrow no matter what. Good job, Siobhan. She said she stashed Hollywood last week. Good job. These are facts. Says, would you get cute and start Rodgers over Jaden? That's on you, bro. If you've got a feeling you want to do that, you could. I wouldn't because of Jaden rushing upside. He had a bad game last time he played the Eagles. He did. But I like his rushing upside. So hey, if I'm wrong, guys, I have to let y'all. Hey, I have to apologize on Monday and say, guys, I was wrong. You know, I'm not perfect. I make bad calls. I miss on calls all the time. But I just rather would play Jaden with his rushing upside over Rodgers. Chris said, should I be scared of Derrick Henry this week? Yeah, but I'm not gonna tell you to sit him. I told y'all I told y'all a couple weeks ago that Lamar was on one. I don't feel great about starting Derrick Henry. I'm starting him. I'm never gonna sit no Derrick Henry, but Lamar's it's his MVP run. So that's what Lamar is on. So I'm telling you, yeah, you should be worried about Derrick, but if you sit him, that's on you. I'm not gonna tell nobody to sit no Derrick Henry. I just want y'all to be aware of what's going on. So if you wanted to do it, that's on you. But I was trying to get you. A lot of people weren't aware. They thought Derrick Henry was just as good as anybody starting this last couple weeks. And he ain't, because of Lamar trying to prove. When Josh Allen went for those 6 touchdowns and then Lamar mama called him, I said, yeah, this is going to be a great MVP run. Zach says start Flowers over McMillan. Yes, I would. This is a tougher matchup. The tougher the matchup, the more they need Zay. Chris says, I think Malik Washington could be a sleeper. Water injury. I agree with that. I think Malik Washington could be a sleeper. But I'm kind of done with the Dolphins right now. The only people that I feel that I'm willing to put in my lineup is Devon A-Chain and Tyreek Hill and maybe Tua if that's the only quarterback that I got in the Superflex league. Sam says, gotta start one flex. Amari Cooper, Debo, Keon. We did them already. I would say Jalen McMillan. Zach says, yeah, I'm starting Zay over McMillan. Harami says, I'm rolling out St. Brown, Zay, Shakir, and probably MHJ this week. I don't think nothing wrong with that. I think those are great starts, Harami. But I understand why you cringing. And Robert says, we did that one already, but I just want to make sure. He says Richardson or Love. I'm going with Love over Richardson. Love over Richardson. Chris says play downs or Strange or Calvin Austin over Derrick Henry. Woo! No, I wouldn't play no downs, no Strange, Calvin, or nobody over Derrick Henry, bro. I would just play Derrick Henry and just take my losses at that position. You got to have him because he could bust a 70-yard run. You don't want to not have him when he busts that 70-yard run. So you got to put Derrick Henry in your lineup. It's Brody. Says, yo, how you doing, bro? I'm doing good. Who you think should be in my starting running backs? Maybe one could be flex also because I'm not sure who should be in my flex. But I have James, Joe, Chuba, and Chase and Kyron. So I'm going to say James Conner because he has a great matchup. And the second one should be Chuba because he got a good matchup. And the next one would be... So let me look at Kyron's matchup real quick. Yeah, woo, this is tough, man. So this one, I'm going to say Kyron. Kyron, Chase Brown. Kyron Williams, Chase Brown, and James Conner. And I'm going to sit Chuba and Joe out of those guys. Kyron, Chase, and James Conner. That's tough, man. You got a lot of great running backs, but you got to sit somebody. And Joe Mixon is going to be tough. That's just my opinion. I know you might not want to sit him, but it's my opinion. I would sit him, and I would sit Chuba, and I would play Chase, Kyron, and James Conner. Zach Seaman says, Matt Jones has a great matchup this week, but I still love Love. Yes, I'm still playing Love. Stroud is close, but Love, yes, I like Love over Matt Jones, but Stroud and Matt Jones is close. I think start the studs. I would start Matt Jones over Stroud probably in redraft leagues. I would, but I'm not starting Matt Jones over Love. So it would be Love, Matt Jones, and Stroud. Those are my rankings. Appreciate you being here, Juice. Aziz says, yo, how's it going, man? Would you start Brian Thomas Jr. over any of my wide receivers? Listen, if A.J. Brown don't practice fully this week, and he's kind of, I might could see. But listen, man, I'm going to tell you this. You got to get Brian Thomas Jr. in your lineup, bro. And that's going to be on you. You the one got your team and your app. You're going to have to find a way to get Brian Thomas Jr. You don't want that on your bench, bro. That's all I'm going to tell you because none of A.J. Brown is not no sit. Mike Evans, you could play him over Mike Evans. But all these guys are good. But Brian Thomas Jr., I think he's going to outperform Mike Evans this week. A.J. Brown, I don't know. I couldn't sit A.J. Brown no matter what. Now, if A.J. Brown don't practice and he limps into like Sunday, then that's different. Or whenever they play. So you got to get Brian Thomas Jr. in your lineup, and you're going to have to make that sit decision. To me, the weaker guy would be Evans. I'm not playing him over no JJ. Yep. Good. Great question though, Aziz. All right, guys, I'm only gonna go live for a little bit longer. Father 3 says, missed the playoffs this year for the first time in 6 years of me playing fantasy, but still here rocking with you though, bro. A lot of money elsewhere still to be made. Right. But what was your teams like? Who was the staple of your teams? Tell me like 3 or 4 guys that was on your team. Juice says, thank you for the advice on the wide receivers. Anytime, man. Jonathan said, is Detroit Williams or Bateman worth starting over Tyreek Hill? Listen, they could outscore him, but I don't know if you can make that decision before the game starts. I wouldn't do it. But I do think Williams and Bateman are going to score. I just don't have the capability to tell you to sit Tyreek Hill for them. Not because Tyreek Hill is my favorite player, which he is, but it's mostly because Tyreek Hill is still going to get targets with Tua being healthy. Especially with Waddle being out. They're not going to give Malik Washington 10 targets. They might give him 5. Jonu's going to get his. But Tyreek, he's still going to get the target. So, I like Williams and Bateman this week. I think they are top 40 wide receivers. Maybe some in the 30s a little bit. But Tyreek Hill still, to me, is a top 24 wide receiver this week. So, I wouldn't play them guys over Tyreek. I wouldn't. Simon said, that was nasty, though. Debo also fell off this year. Simon says, appreciate you, bro. Anytime. Rishi said, would you drop Zay for McMillan? Hell no. No, sir. Thomas said JD5 wasn't 100% healthy last time he played the Eagles. Going to be different this time. I think it's going to be a little bit different. Juice says, hey, G, help me out with my RBs. Pick 2 running backs, PPR. Hubbard, Garendo, KW3, Zach, Charbonnet, Najee. Your thoughts? I'm going with Garendo and Hubbard. Garendo and Hubbard. Joe Garcia says Charb, Ford, or Thielen in the flex, Njoku or Strange drop Pitts for him. I would say Strange over the Njoku and Pitts, and between Charb, Ford, or Thielen in the flex, I would go with Sharp if Kenneth Walker doesn't play, and if Kenneth Walker plays, I would go with Adam Thielen over Ford slightly because of DTR. I would go with Thielen slightly over Ford. But it's definitely Sharp if KW doesn't play for your flex. Thomas said, you really think my Hawks are trading DK? He has 1 year left on his contract, right? That's why they're going to trade him. Thomas says, I know that doesn't matter, but still. No, it does. I get what you're saying. Rio says 1 year a guy lost in the first round of the playoffs and dropped all of his studs on the waivers. That's how you get kicked out of a league. Juice says Eagles fan here, but can we still be friends, G? Yeah, we still can be friends. I love my Cowboys, but I'm a fantasy football expert first. Chief says good point with Mahomes' injury. They might run more. Respect. Yes. Mr. Anderson says, what up? Okay, we did that one already. BG says, did Aaron Rodgers sabotage his own career? Nah. That's just him being him. E11 says Green Bay or Denver. I'm going with Green Bay this week over Denver. The matchup is beautiful for the Packers. Mr. Anderson says Purdy or Tua. I'm going with Purdy. Is Brody says Burrow or Baker? I'm thinking Burrow. You got to go with Burrow. Kill says Rodgers or Jaden. I'm going with Jaden with the rushing upside. Mr. Anderson says McMillan or Harrison Jr. I'm going with Harrison Jr. Siobhan says if Mahomes doesn't play, pick 1 Rodgers, Penix, May, Williams, May, Mac Jones, AR, Stafford. I'm going with Stafford. Let me make sure. I'm going with Stafford, and I'm gonna give you my top 3. It would be Stafford, Mac Jones, and AR5. I like Penix, but I gotta see him play. I can't predict off of just. I gotta first number 1 out of these guys, but I need to see it. That's my rule. I need to see it one time, or this late in the season. Now, if we first week, I might go with the rookie. But week 16, I got to go with what I saw. What you always what Charlene always say. I seen what I saw. 11 says half point PPR need 2 McMillan, Reed, Odunze, Hollywood. I'm going with Odunze and half point PPR with his touchdown upside. It's Brody says I think Trayvon Diggs is injured. He's out for the season. Facts. So that could help out the Bucks. Yeah, but actually, Trayvon was out last week, and Dallas defense as a collective plays great against the pass because they have a great pass rush, and that helps the corners. They got really good corners out there, even though they got backups. They still got the guy who led the league in interceptions last year, and also had like 5 interception return touchdowns. So they got guys out there who's optimistic about getting turnovers. So the Bucks are going to be okay. Bucky Irvin's going to be okay. Baker going to be solid. And I think Mike Evans is going to be solid. I don't know if that's going to be 150 yards solid or Baker 300 yards solid, but I can see 80 yards and maybe a TD for Mike Evans. I can see Baker with maybe 225, 240 with a couple sacks, maybe 1 or 2 TDs. Thomas says you wouldn't put Jonnu in your lineup when talking about the Dolphins. Yes, I would, but I'm not putting him in the flex over a elite wide receiver. He going in my tight end spot, and that's what it is. Ain't no tight end out there that's that good where I can't put Jonnu there. And if you got Trey McBride and Jonnu, I don't know if I'm putting Trey McBride and Jonnu in my lineup. I would have been traded one if I could, but I just don't see Jonnu better than like a Mike Evans. But is he better than like Jalen Coker? Yeah, I'll put Jonnu Smith over Jalen Coker, but I'm not putting him over a top 12 or top 24 wide receiver. They got upside to boom. YT says Coker or Jameson Williams. I'm going with Jameson Williams. Siobhan says Hawkinson or Njoku. I'm going with Njoku. Greg says Mr. Anderson, the consultation is $50, but if you are a member of the channel today, for the rest of this week, for week 16, I'm doing a special. It's gonna be $25 if you are a member of the channel, but you got to be a member. Like once I go in, I gotta see that you're a member, and then I'm gonna charge you $25 for 30 minutes. If you're not a member, it's $50. If you are a Phenom member, you get it free. For 30 minutes, you get a free consultation. So anybody that's on a Phenom member, if I see that you're a Phenom member, your consultation is free. Siobhan says Hawkinson and Njoku. I would go with Hawk over Njoku with DTR starting. Greg says half point PPR Dobbs, McMillan, Shakir, DJ Moore, Garrett. I need 2. I'm going with Garrett Wilson and Shakir. Even though Shakir is a full PPR type guy, I still think he's better than DJ Moore and Romeo Dobbs and McMillan. Let's see here. Roger, okay, if Mahomes doesn't play. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. Let's get through here. I got to get out of here. I don't want the phone to go dead on the live. Rashik says, does Yahoo Plus start and sit suggestions good? Does the Yahoo Plus start and sit suggestions good? I don't know, bro. I don't use it. I don't use that. Anytime, Brody. Anytime. E11 says, no, Baron. This channel is better. Thank you, bro. Juice says, thanks, bro. Anytime. Lisa says, hey, TD Standard, Knicks or Murray? Thank you. I'm going with Murray. I'm going with Colin Murray over Bo Nix. Let me make sure. Yeah, I'm going with Colin Murray. Juice Okay, we go. Okay. Yeah, Mahomes did practice in full yesterday. Juice says, I appreciate you helping me pick anytime. Lisa says, half point PPR. Pick one. Already have St. Brown, Brian Thomas, Jennings, or Sutton or Devontae Smith. Half PPR. Pick one. Already have St. Brown. So I don't know what you're saying, Lisa, but I would say Brian Thomas Jr. But if you talk about Sutton or Devontae Smith, I like Devon. Yeah, Brian Thomas Jr., St. Brown, and Jennings are the guys. I wouldn't. But if you picking between Sutton or Smith, I would say Smith over Sutton. Greg says Garrett Wilson, McMillan, or Dobbs. I'm going with Garrett Wilson. Kasim Miller says, I am in a super flex league. I have Mahomes, do I take the risk to start MP9? I don't know who MP9 is. If Mahomes are out, okay, Michael Penix. I am also in the tight end premium. Do I start Keenan Allen or TJ Hawk? I will start Keenan Allen over TJ Hawkinson. And do I take a risk on? Yes. I think it's okay if that's the best player out there available. So I don't know what quarterbacks is out there available if Mahomes is out, but Michael Penix will be a good play if that's the best one that you can go to. All right, guys. Well, I got to get ready to get out of here. I don't want the live to go dead. You said this channel is great. You're the only cat that answers live chats. I know, man. But people sit around, they say I'm sensitive. I do all of that, and then they troll in the channel. Not that they disagree, but you can't be careful what you say here, because they know that I answer the chat, and so they getting their little 5 minutes of fame. And they think they're gonna gaslight me to think I'm emotional. Get out of here with that. But yeah, man, I appreciate you, bro. You know I got you. That's what I do, man, bro. McMillan or Cup Standard, okay. Yep, Thomas says good stream, bro. Anytime. All right, guys, y'all be safe. Peace.